Hi there, everyone. What if I told you that a single LinkedIn message would lead to a best-selling book and then spark a movement that's about to change how women approach AI forever? Hi, everyone. I'm Jaspreet Chagger from Chagger.org, your AI strategy partner, and that's exactly what happened when Eric Severson sent us LinkedIn messages inviting us to contribute to what became the AI revolution, thriving within civilization's next big disruption. None of us knew we were joining 34 brilliant minds to create a bestseller. But here's what's even more incredible. After the book's success, the women co authors connected and realized we had something powerful that went beyond those pages. We discovered that while our book showcased diverse perspectives from healthcare to tech to entrepreneurship, we women had insights that could directly transform the lives of other women who might be intimidated by AI or drowning in work they can't control. 3 years ago, I was a healthcare executive sitting at my table at 10 p.m., overwhelmed by reports and responsibilities, feeling completely trapped. Today, through Chegger.org, I help healthcare workers escape crushing administrative burdens, empower small businesses to compete using AI tools, and teach women how AI literacy can free them from invisible labor. The women you're about to meet are my fellow co authors who turned that single LinkedIn message into their own transformation stories. From community building to corporate culture, from mindset shifts to strategic implementation, we're that when women lead with AI conversation, everyone wins. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's start with something fundamental: the systemic barriers that have shaped who gets to lead in tech and AI. Meet Sue, my fellow co author, who's taking on what she calls the Data Boys Club and showing us why breaking down these barriers is essential for the AI revolution to truly succeed.
Breaking the Data Boys Club barrier. A really interesting topic. It's also a topic that defines many corporate structures. The important points to note is that there is a dynamic to the Boys Club paradigm. Many women are traditionally seen as the nurturer, the householder, the family person. But of course, over the last 20 to 30 years, that dynamic has changed because there are more women in the workforce. They're educated, they are able to take on some challenging roles and challenging the dynamic of the work environment. Men tend to have a strong informal power network. The pub deals, the golf course deals are everywhere. But that needs to change as women enter the market and as they become a part of that workforce. We need to employ more empathy, compassion, as well as find out a way to augment the virtual AI environment as well as diversity of thought and mindset that women, human beings, and a diversified workforce can bring to the forefront. The challenge is that organizations do employ women, but they do not continue to invest in them. Having a woman on your workforce is not just to fulfill a status quo. It needs constant empowerment, development, as well as enabling women to own their dialogue, own their space. In order to combat these barriers, women need to claim their space, find your voice, showcase that voice, and own that narrative. It really will help you to define your space and, more importantly, segment yourself and find your unique selling power. It's really important that as women, we also define what we stand for and how we want to drive it within our workforce. We need to also support other women and employ tactics and techniques that can help to build a diversified workforce. Speak with confidence, speak with clarity, and ensure that narrative defines the points you're trying to make, but also own the seat at the table. It's really common that men tend to apply for jobs where they may meet some of the criteria, whereas women tend to be a little bit more reserved in that aspect of job applications. We tend to look for all the points that meet us and all the points that we can support as part of the job description. If we don't tick all the boxes, we tend to withdraw and not apply for that role. A man's approach is slightly different. they do tend to throw their hat in the ring, whether they have all the skills or not. Some of the other barriers we also face as women is that if we are strong, confident, we are seen as aggressive. Whereas a man with the same approach has a very different view in the environment. So the dynamics of mindsets, cultural forms, cultural perspectives need to also change. The workforce is constantly in a space of evolution, and being able to bring in diversity, bring in different leadership opportunities for people to start driving that agenda becomes ever more pivotal. The challenge we face today is not going to change until and unless, as women, we challenge that status quo and we change it. So, an important part of meeting the dynamic of breaking through that boys' club saga is to be able to employ that change. And let's be the force that can make that change in today's day and age of data, AI, digital, and tech.
Sue's message about claiming our space and finding our voice, that resonates deeply with my own journey because 3 years ago, I was exactly where many women are today. During my 20 years in healthcare leadership, implementing COVID vaccine rollouts across hundreds of locations, I witnessed something that would change how I understood work itself. Nurses spending 30% of their shift entering data instead of caring for patients. 1 in 5 healthcare workers have quit since 2020, not for medical challenges, but from administrative exhaustion. When you're trained to heal and instead spend hours clicking through clunky interfaces, it's like buying a Ferrari and only using it to drive to the mailbox. But this just wasn't a healthcare problem. Research shows women perform a disproportionate amount of unpaid labor, both at work and at home, managing invisible tasks that keep everything running. Yet we often hesitate to explore new technology or doubt our ability to master it. But this unfortunately creates a cycle where women remain trapped in routine tasks that prevent us from pursuing leadership opportunities. Meanwhile, women who do harness AI effectively, they report not just time savings, but increased confidence in their own decision making. Then there's the small business reality. Having worked with countless small and medium-sized employers in healthcare, I saw the same pattern everywhere. Limited resources, multiple roles per person, constant operational demands. These businesses approach AI cautiously, but small and medium-sized employers incorporating AI see overhead shrink by up to 20%. When I discovered AI could turn my 3-hour board reports into 45 minutes of focused work, something really clicked. This was about systemic liberation for all of these groups. In healthcare, pilot studies show AI can slash patient check-in times, they can cut staff overtime, and they can improve early detection rates. More importantly, it gives healthcare workers back their passion for healing. For small businesses, AI democratizes sophisticated capabilities that were once only available to corporations. Local practices can now leverage diagnostic tools and automation without massive IT budgets. And women, when we master AI, we break free from historical constraints. That extra hour, for example, becomes time for strategic thinking, professional development, or pursuing shelved dreams. That's why Traeger.org exists. It's your AI strategy partner. We facilitate transformation for healthcare workers who have entered their profession to heal, not to be data entry clerks, for small business owners exhausted wearing every hat, and for women managing invisible labor while their aspirations wait. Our approach really does emphasize responsible implementation, which tools are actually trustworthy, how to verify outputs, what tasks must remain in human hands. And this measured approach to AI literacy, understanding both potentials and limitations, is actually quite fundamental. When any of these groups masters AI thoughtfully, something powerful can happen. Healthcare workers rediscover why they chose healing. Small businesses compete on innovation, and women reclaim not just time, but the mental bandwidth to design lives that actually serve them. And that journey from overwhelm to empowerment is exactly what my next co author is creating for others. Meet Peggy, who's proving that when we claim our space, we can build something better, communities where AI brings us together and not further apart.
Hi, my name is Peggy O'Flaherty. I'm the author of Chapter 21 of the AI Revolution. I'm so grateful that you are joining us here. As a mother of five and an entrepreneur, I've had five successful companies with three successful exits, and I wanted to solve some of the problems we're seeing with social networks. I think several social media platforms, and I see this with my own children, are consumed with content and they are leading to an epidemic of loneliness in this country. Vinly is my new company, and we are using AI in the background to build a social network where authors, industry leaders, brands, speakers can create a social network with their community where there's no ads, no noise, no bots, no performative likes and algorithms. And it just gives us a chance to connect with people for better conversations that matter. And the AI is in the background doing the heavy lifting. And I think that's where AI should be. It should be almost invisible behind all of the most important things, which is the human connection, and it's there to help and aid us making our lives a little bit easier, but not replacing the human connection. My name is Peggy O'Flaherty. I participated in this chapter because I've always focused on building communities, and now I wanted to build communities on a much greater scale, competing with the biggest social media giants out there to create a social network where we can really connect at a more deeper level. So I hope you'll join us on Vinly, Vinly. Again, Vinly is a vine connecting us for better communication. And that's where you can meet me. So connect with me on Vinly and have a great day. And thank you so much for tuning into this webinar.
Peggy's vision of AI enhancing human connection is powerful. But let's be honest, many people are still paralyzed by fear when it comes to AI. Meet Georgie, another co author who's rewriting the entire narrative about change and showing us how to lean into the future with confidence.
I'm excited to share that I'm now a two-time author. My first book includes My American Dream, a dark comedy about my complex, raw, and unfiltered journey into America to achieve a Hollywood-infused American dream. I'm now delighted to share that I co-authored The AI Revolution, Thriving Within Civilization's Next Big Disruption, which offers a grounded, empowering take on how we can move beyond fear, which is always a goal of life, and lean into innovation. My co authors and I reframe AI not as a threat, but as a catalyst for human potential, calling on readers to embrace adaptability, curiosity, and personal growth in the face of inevitable change. I explore why fear of the unknown stifles progress, just as it does in our personal lives, and how adopting a future focused, emotionally intelligent mindset unlocks new levels of creativity, productivity, and resilience. We often see fear mongering online, particularly on social media, surrounding the fear of artificial intelligence and the impact it will have on all of us in the years to come, which currently none of us have the long play answers to. If you've ever felt resistance, though, to the rapid advancements of technology or fear what might lie ahead, this anecdote or chapter could very well be for you. I want to remind us all that humanity is in a constant state of evolution, as is technology. In our time, we've never known this not to be the case. While we may have various fluctuating opinions on it, the truth is that the world isn't slowing down, and we can only control what we can control as human beings at the end of the day. Let's start with the universal truth. Humanity has always been in a state of chronic evolution. Change is the only constant. From the discovery of fire to the invention of the internet, we've continuously adapted, innovated, and redefined what it means to exist in this world. Now we're standing at the precipice of another monumental shift, the age of AI. Some call this era the age of Aquarius, a time marked by transformation, technological advancement, and collective awakening. It's a time when innovation is accelerating at an unprecedented pace, like obviously no time before, challenging us to think differently, act boldly, and embrace a future that looks nothing like our past. In my humble opinion, fighting change that's occurring on a global level is a losing battle. Instead of fearing what's ahead, let's lean in. Embrace the possibilities, the opportunities to learn and grow, and the potential that AI brings. Because here's the truth, we can't go back. There's no rewinding the clock on anything, by the way. No undoing the advancements that have already begun to reshape our world. At least at this point in time, AI is not something to fear. Personally, it excites me as a tool, a partner for rapid micro learning, and a catalyst for creativity and efficiency. When you adopt your own journey into the realms of innovation, you unlock doors to a future that's more productive, capable, and intelligent than before. AI has the power to amplify your potential, streamline your work, solve complex business problems, cut costs, and even spark creativity in ways you've never imagined. Whether it's automating repetitive tasks, analyzing complex data, or creating art, AI is a tool that can help us focus on what truly matters. Fear of the unknown is natural, but it's not productive. The future isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace. When we let go of fear, we make room for curiosity, creativity, and growth. We open ourselves up to the possibilities that come with progress. Think about the great innovators of history. Did they fear change? Probably just a little, but did they lean in and become the change? The future belongs to those who are willing to adapt, learn, and grow with it. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Be the change, don't fight it.
Message about embracing change is crucial, but what happens when we bring that mindset into our workplaces? Meet Daria, an executive coach and co-author who's ensuring that as we implement AI, we keep humans at the center of everything.
Hi, my name is Daria Rudnik. I'm a team architect and executive leadership coach. And today I want to talk to you about something that's both exciting and a little bit dangerous. For years, I've been working with leaders and teams. My background is in HR and organizational development. I started my career in Deloitte, and then I became chief people officer for mostly tech and telecom companies. And throughout my entire career, I've been fascinated by one question. How do we help people feel well and perform well at work? Because no matter how advanced our tools become, we work with people, we work for people, and people use what we create. Work has always been, and still is, human. And then AI arrived. At first, and still is, it was thrilling. AI can analyze huge amounts of data, it can automate tasks, surface insights, even suggest solutions. Research from Harvard Business School shows that teams using AI become more independent. Managers spend less time supervising tasks and more time coaching, innovating, and building client relationships. In many ways, AI gives us a glimpse into the future work we always dreamt about. But then I saw something that made me pause. I was working with a fantastic customer success team. These people had been through so much together: pandemic, uncertainty, tough client cases, and they had always found meaning in their work. They cared deeply about their customers. But slowly something changed. The team was still performing, the numbers looked fine, but the spark was gone. The energy, the engagement fading. The manager came to me and said, I don't understand. They're doing everything right, but they feel disconnected. And we looked closer and we found it. Yes, the team was still talking to customers, but after each call, AI system processed the notes, analyzed the data, generated insights, and updated the CRM. The humans weren't really thinking about their cases anymore. The AI was. The team no longer owned the insights. They were slowly becoming bystanders to their own work. That's what we call cognitive offloading. And while it can be helpful, like when your GPS remembers the way so that you don't have to, if we offload too much, we lose something essential: our connection to meaning, to learning, and to mastery. So, together with the manager, we made a small but really powerful change. Instead of fully relying on AI, the team started reviewing its outputs. They questioned its conclusions. They discussed clients' cases together. They used AI to speed up data work, but re engaged as human thinkers, as partners, and problem solvers. And you know what? Engagement came back and performance improved. The work became meaningful again for them. And that is the future I believe in, a future where AI doesn't replace us, but it frees us. But only if we stay fully present, curious, and connected to our work. This is what I explore in my chapter for the AI Revolution book, how human AI collaboration can make teams stronger if we design it with intention. Thank you.
Thank you, Daria. That reminder about keeping humans at the center while we implement AI, that's exactly why this conversation matters. We can't let technology strip away the meaning and mastery that makes work fulfilling. This is what the AI revolution looks like when women lead it. Sue breaking down barriers, Peggy building connections, Georgie shifting mindsets, and Daria keeping us human-centered, and all of us proving that diverse voices don't just belong in AI, we're essential to getting it right. Our best-selling book brought 34 brilliant minds together, but this conversation shows us why the women's perspectives matter so much. We're not just building better technology, we're building a more inclusive future where AI serves everyone. Ready to join this revolution? Connect with any of us, grab the AI revolution, and let's transform this industry together. Because when women lead with AI literacy, we don't just change our own lives, we change the world.